I got me gold shilling. For all the people that don't know what I'm talking about, go back to 1994 and watch the movie Leprechaun 2. It's a classic jump off. I remember growing up watching those Leprechaun movies. Leprechaun terrified me. I don't know if you guys have Leprechaun where you're at, but take a look at it if you don't know what I'm talking about. But welcome to chess, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys coming by very much. Taking a look at my video. I have the round one, game one, game between Wesley and Levon Aronian, and it has a interesting feature in it. But for all of my people that are coming from the Philippines, magandang umaga, aking mga kaibigan. I think I said that correctly. Aking mga kaibigan. You know, let me know how that sounds. You know, I think that when I say aking mga, it sounds slightly wrong. So it's aking mga kaibigan. So I think that's correct for everybody. So maraming salamat po sa nanonood ing aking mga video. Appreciate you guys very much for stopping by. Anybody who's coming from Armenia or who does speak Armenian, vod juven to you, and merci for you coming by and taking a look at my stuff. As always, I appreciate when anybody sends me the comments, letting me know that what I'm saying doesn't sound completely correct, because I am always trying to say everything exactly correct like it should be said. So I appreciate the criticism very much. Unlike some people who might get irritated, I do try to speak every language I speak perfectly. So, you know, you guys' critique, you guys mentioning that something doesn't sound right does definitely very much help me. So, aking mga kaibigan. I think I got it. Let me know. So, yes, if you guys are ready to go, let's take a look at the game. All right, so we got D4. We got knight to F6, knight to F3. We got D5, bishop to F4. So we have a London situation going on. Started off as an Indian, and then we have the London. So we got C5, we got E3, knight to C6. We have knight B to D2. And this makes queen to B6 a little bit less legitimate because you can't just push here. You can also just go B3 right there. And so we see pawn takes D4, pawn takes D4. We got A6, C3, bishop to G4. We have queen to B3. You know, white's trying to throw his own little attack on the pawn here. So, you know, we're hoping that black falls asleep and just, you know, play something like this or something. And then we just get the pawn. But we're not going to do that. We see knight to A5. You know, the queen. The queen is kind of annoying on B3. So knight to A5. It's a temporary placement of the piece. It's trying to get rid of this queen. So the queen comes back to C2. We got E6, bishop to D3. You know, we're thinking of at some point in the future trying to snap off this pawn after we try to get rid of this knight. The bishop comes to E7. We have knight to E5, bishop to H5, and we have castles by white, and we have castles by black. You know, white is actually doing very well in this position. You know, they have some good central placement of their pieces. They have the bishop out, which is always nice. This knight is kind of oddly placed, but, you know, it's not the end of the world to bring it back to C6. So, yeah, white is just slightly further ahead than black is. As you can see in their development, they have their rooks connected. You know, they have all of their pieces placed nicely. So they do hold a slight advantage in the position. So we see rook F to E1. And this is the novelty of the game. It's really interesting how that's a novelty because, like I said, a lot of you guys that are familiar with, you know, how you play with different pieces knows that, you know, this rook is best placed, or one of the rooks is best placed on this half open file. As you guys know, it's a completely open file when there are no pawns present, but it is a half open file when there is only one pawn present. So that's definitely where you want to put the rook. You know, and then at some point later, you can get like some type of rook lift situation. And, you know, as you guys see, you have the knight, the bishop, and the queen all, you know, kind of eyeing the king side. So rook lift will be really ideal. So we see rook to C1. We got bishop to G5. Like I mentioned earlier, you know, we're trying to see if we can get rid of this knight and see if we can try to win this pawn. So we see knight to C6. And knight to C6, it gives a counterattack because, yes, you're going to be winning the pawn, but I'm going to be trying to win this pawn back. So the bishop takes on f6. We see bishop takes f6, bishop takes h7, king to h8, and bishop back to d3. And this is where black is going to win their pawn back. The knight takes on d4. And of course, this pawn is pinned to the queen because we don't want to take because we're just going to be dropping the queen. And then that's just not fair. And then black is just going to try to trade everything everything in existence down to, you know, get into a beneficial endgame. So we see after knight takes d4, we do see queen to a4, trying to give it a nice little active square, seeing if we can't play some knight d7s. So the knight comes back to c6. We have knight taking c6, rook taking c6. And then we have reached a point in the game. Like I said, there is a unique feature to this game. We've reached the point in the game where I would like for you guys to stop the video and see if you can guess what white's move was. Okay, cool. So I don't really think anybody, I mean, unless you've seen the game already or are aware of what happened, I don't think anybody would guess this move because it ended up being a mouse slip. I tried to locate the actual video of it, but for some reason, Chess 24, they usually have two different broadcasts. One with David Howell. We have Jovanka Houska and Kaja Snare. And there's another one with Peter Leko and Tanya Sakdev, but I guess they don't have them right now. And so generally, the broadcast for Howell, Houska, and Snare, they focus mostly on Magnus Carlsen. So they didn't actually show the video of this game. It might be floating out there somewhere. But like I said, there was a mouse slip and rook to e2 was played. Now, I'm pretty positive that Wesley So is trying to go rook to e3. And he just accidentally released the mouse too soon. Or he might have been trying to think about this move, but was trying to put the rook back and then try to go bishop to e2. I think rook to e3 was the most logical, possibility, and he just accidentally just went like that and dropped it too soon. So he did go rook to e2, and then Levon Aronian happily accepted, took on e2, bishop took on e2. We saw g6, knight coming to f3. So we see Wesley So is still trying to play on. This is a really, really bad position for Wesley So now. It's with legitimate play by Aronian, he's not going to lose this type of a position with this advantage. So the king comes to g7. We see h4. We see e5. Rook comes to d1, trying to pin that pawn down. We see e4. Knight comes to d2, and we see queen to b6. And it is in this position that Wesley So does resign the game. And like I said, I think at this point, he's just really, really flustered at the fact that he dropped his piece. He dropped the exchange, and he just doesn't want to continue to play on. It is a bad position for black or for white. You probably want to play something like knight to b3 or even queen down to b3. It's not like it's just, completely 100% lost, but the fact that you misclicked and then also the fact that you're in a really, really bad position now is really discouraging, and you generally don't want to continue to play with being at that much of a disadvantage, especially sitting there thinking about the fact that you just misplaced your piece and you're losing for no reason. White was doing really, really well until he dropped his rook. So that was a disappointing loss, and so he did end up losing the first round, the first match of that play. And so we'll see today what they're looking like, and I'll see if I can jump on and grab some more videos for you guys. I'll show draws, but I'll try to stay away from like those prearranged draws because they're just kind of boring. So I'll see if I can't get some lively games for you guys. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. Merci to anybody who is coming from from Armenia or who speaks Armenian. Maraming Salamat Po, King Ma Kaibigan. Kaibigan. It's gonna take me some time to get that all the way, but Kaibigan. I think I got it better because I said Kai. I think I said Kaiban or something yesterday, so that wasn't good. So I appreciate you guys very much, and I'll see you next time.